What up? It's your boy EJ the Alchemist here. Today we're gonna talk about the worst show I ever seen in my goddamn life, Velma. Like, I was looking at like Twitter and like all the reviews on there. I was like, they said this shit garbage. It was like a 7% on Rotten Tomatoes. I'm like, this shit can't be that bad, right? Nigga, it was worse than I thought. First off, this show is painfully unfunny. Like, it's trying too hard to be woke and have that woke humor, if that makes sense. Like, I genuinely did not laugh like at anything in the show at all. The only thing in the show that almost made me laugh is when somebody had threw a chair at Velma and Fred had caught it. He threw it back at the dude and cut his leg off. And this show does not do justice to the original Scooby-Doo at all. Not just like in like how good it is, but just how none of the characters are how they are in the original Scooby-Doo. Like, none of the characters are the same. Like, they are drastically different from each other in every way. They made Velma so annoying and sassy and just so mean. Like, Velma was never mean. She was always a quirky individual. And they just made Daphne a straight up bitch. I mean, yeah, she was kind of like the it girl in the original Scooby-Doo, but she was never a bitch. And oh my god, they did Fred and Shaggy so dirty. Bro, Fred, we all know Fred as like the leader, the dude that makes all the plans to do that shit, so traps and shit, right? In the show, they make him useless. They make him be like a little kid, relying on his parents to do shit, relying on fucking maids and butlers and shit. And this, to the fact where this nigga can't even use a fork and a plate to cut a steak. Like, he can't even do that by himself, which is retarded. And they made Shaggy this drug-free loser. Oh, but EJ, when did they ever make Shaggy this drug addict? Like, Shaggy never did drugs in the show? Bro, you can tell niggas didn't grow up on Scooby-Doo, because if you watch the show, it was heavily implied that he was smoking pot. He was a pothead. The show Scooby-Doo was made in like the 70s. And everything that nigga did, the way that nigga was eating, you could tell that nigga was on pot. Like, this, they really made Shaggy a drug-free, straight-edge activist. Like, who? Like, why? That is not Shaggy. They already fucked up when they made fucking Velma Indian and Shaggy Black in the first place. And where the fuck is Scooby-Doo at?
Oh, but EJ, the show is called Velma. Why would you think Scooby-Doo would be on Velma? Like, the show is about Velma. You just set your expectations too high for the show. It's not Scooby-Doo, it's Velma.
Bitch, Scooby-Doo has been around for 5 decades. Why would I expect something different when Scooby-Doo, Velma, Daphne, Shaggy, and Fred have been the same for 50 years? Why wouldn't I expect Scooby to be in this? You know, for this show to be TVMA, this shit is not mature at all. This shit is like, I've seen way better Scooby-Doo adaptations do a more serious job than this. Like, for example, Mystery Incorporated feels way more mature than Velma right now. Because Scooby-Doo Mystery Incorporated was actually talking about deep shit and intricate plots and storytelling. And they had a chance in Velma to talk about serious issues with Velma's anxiety. But they made her anxiety like a joke. Like, it's not even, like, they do a terrible job of depicting anxiety. And like, there's this one part in the show where Velma's having a panic attack. And Shaggy said, "I love you" to her. And she just laughed at him. And that's what made her get out her panic attack. Like, that shit was so trash. And another thing, like, who the fuck asked for this show? Like, nobody asked for this to be made. Like, who is asking for a dark, gritty Velma spinoff series? And Daphne and Velma are just lesbians now? Like, when the fuck have they ever been presented as lesbians throughout the whole 50 years? Oh, but EJ is a different adaptation. She can do everything you want with the characters. Anything. It's her story. Let her tell it. Well, bitch, make your own fucking show with new characters. Stop trying to revitalize classics. Like, that is not, like, make your own show. Why you have to mess with classics that already have a set and written story? That's dumb. And yeah, Velma is also a bitch in it, so like, she is a straight up bitch. Velma has never been a mean hearted person like she is in Velma. And the only person solving mysteries in this bitch is Velma. Like, they made it seem like Shaggy, Fred, and Daphne can't do shit without Velma. Like I said, they did Fred so dirty. Like, Fred is a straight up bitch in this show. Like, he is a bitch. Like, when I think of Fred from Scooby-Doo, I think of a man's man. I think of like a real man. This nigga is far from that. He is a little boy. This nigga is a kid in the show. And you know this show is bad when it's getting this much negativity from only 2 30-minute episodes. And for the people talking about, oh, the creator of the show is just adding depth and more nuanced layers to the characters. I mean, okay, you can add depth, but they literally don't have any traits from the original series. Like, they have nothing similar to none of those characters. So that point is stupid. Before I end the video, here are some awful jokes from this shitty ass show, Velma.
I thought lesbians were good at solving crimes. It's like the one positive stereotype perpetuated by cop shows. Oh, sorry I'm not a drunk on the verge of losing custody like every other woman solving murders these days.
In teen movies, whenever a girl needs money, a guy sells something and then blackmails the girl into dating him for it.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Oh my fucking god, this show ass! Whoever wrote this shitty ass show needs to be banned from Hollywood, need to be fired from HBO Max, and they just need to scrap this show. Cause this show is, it makes no sense for this show to be this terrible when you're taking inspiration from the Scooby-Doo franchise. Like, it makes no, how do you flop this bad? It's been your boy EJ the Alchemist. This show is ass. I'm out.